Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of Fil-Am Creative's podcast, Voices. I'm your host, Walter Talents, and this is Arlyn De La Peña. We're going to have an awesome guest today for you guys, a comedian by the name of J.R. de Guzman. And I love how we are sort of matching our outfit.
Why are you trying to cut my style?
Seriously, guys, we did not plan this or anything like that,
I know.
I mean, dude, you look like you've been working out.
I mean,
swole.
I try to keep up.
Like, what's your routine been like recently?
I've been trying to do a lot more cardio, just running a few more miles each day and a lot of lunges. Because, we got that squat challenge coming up.
Squat challenge.
But yeah, just I started doing Orange Theory Fitness, which is pretty awesome. And so, yeah, just trying to change up my routine.
What is that?
They do cardio and then weightlifting, and it's based off of your own heart rate and trying to max your VO2. And so, yeah,
whoa,
that's what I do.
It's like really sciencey there.
That is. I'm all about that science.
Yeah.
And what have you been doing for your routine?
I've just been a stereotype, really, just doing my martial arts program, which is like, I mean, I guess for some people that's like a real like stereotype, just another Asian person, doing martial arts. But, I've been doing Kali and Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, like Kali, just because it's the Filipino martial arts, for those who don't know, it's the Filipino arts stick and knife fighting. And I just find it because I try to get my friends to do it. And be like, hey, come join, whether it's Kali or come train in Jiu-Jitsu. And they're like, oh, I have a couple of friends who are like, I don't know, man. Like, I
feel bad I haven't gone yet. Sorry.
Well, no, that's cool. But I mean, just as a form of like getting in shape, and instead of like, because some people like just lifting weights or running is just a little too boring for them, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, hey, try martial arts. It's still getting an exercise on, But a couple of my friends are usually like, I feel like it's a stereotype, like doing martial arts, because you're Asian, or because I'm sorry, I should clarify, they're Asian. So they feel like, I feel like if I'm doing martial arts, I'm just being another stereotype. And I'm like, yeah, I guess, but I mean, why do you worry about that when other people, there's people out there who like just don't worry about stereotypes. Like if you like martial arts, you're learning how to defend yourself. You're learning how to defend people you love. Why worry about stereotype? Like just because.
Do you worry about stereotypes?
Sometimes I do. It's just like that Chris Rock routine, right? What do I get, the fried chicken or the fish, right, or something like that? So I think I used to. At this point in my life, I know. I'm conscious of it, but I don't really like let it run my lives, because like if you see just if you're worried about that, it's like the thing is, it's like I don't think white folks worry about stereotypes. They just do it, right? And I think like black folks and Hispanic folks, like we have to be conscious about that, and Asian folks, we have to be conscious about that, but don't let it consume you, really. Just do what you gotta do. And so I think like a lot of like successful artists, they just do what they love. They do what they gotta do. They're just great at it. But to me, like martial arts is like, man, you're learning your culture or you're learning how to defend yourself and protect yourself.
I feel like I'm very stereotypical Filipino Army nurse.
Yeah. Well, the fact that at least you're not Navy.
Like, I know. I tried to go outside the box, guys.
Yeah. At least you checked that. You went outside the box on that one. And no, I'm saying like,
Rodney's our Navy guy.
But I'm saying like it's almost a stereotype that like Filipinos are in the Navy. Like
that's true.
They pretty much run the Navy. If I'm, what I'm saying. Rule, guys, for all you guys thinking of joining the Navy. Make friends with the Filipinos, because they will make your life so much easier.
Just go Army. That's all I gotta say. Go Army.
I'll stay apolitical on that. But speaking of stereotypes and breaking them and just doing what you gotta do, our guest today is J.R. de Guzman, and he is a guy who's doing just that. He is breaking stereotypes. He was a musician. He was a music teacher. And he became a stand-up comedian, and he's just killing it right now. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him. Like, how about you?
Yeah, I'm so stoked. I've been following him from day one, and I saw him on NBC, and I've seen all the interviews that he's done, and I've heard nothing but great reviews from other people who also follow JR, and so I'm so excited. I was actually surprised, guys, because when we said hello this morning briefly, and he's way taller than I thought. So I'm like 5'2", almost 5'2". I'm wearing heels today, but he's pretty tall. And
he's a tall Filipino.
Yeah, and
he'd be a center in the Filipino basketball team.
True that. Although I do play forward, Filipino League. American League, I'm always point guard. It's okay though.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to having him out here and just chatting it up with him and getting to know him a little bit more.
Awesome. Well, when we get back, we'll have JR de Guzman here, and he'll be coming out and talking to us. So give us a minute, and here's a word from our sponsors.
Today's episode brought to you by the good folks at Filipino Worker Center. From the heart of historic Filipino town, PWC focuses on providing programs that help meet the immediate needs of workers and their families, while at the same time building their leadership to take collective action for long-lasting change.
Hello, and we're back. We are here with comedian, musician, JR de Guzman. And so, say hi, Arlyn.
Hi.
Hey, there you go.
He's trying to cut me out. You see these people falling. I'm like, damn, son.
I
know we've been lifting weights and stuff, but excuse me.
It's the same purple, whatever.
I know, we didn't get the memo.
Is that usual? You guys collaborate on that usually?
Sometimes.
It looks good.
Well, actually, no. Sometimes
it just happens naturally, where I didn't get the memo for the turtleneck, though.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have enough time, actually. We're going to do black turtlenecks with chains.
Nice. Very cool.
Go retro next time.
Thanks for popping my collar, too.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's
brought my street cred up a little bit.
I mean, I don't think you need help with street cred, man.
Okay.
Like, how you been? Like, I heard you just flew. You were on tour, right? You just came
from the
back.
East Coast,
yeah. I just came from Massachusetts. I was out there for a few days, and then I'm off for 2 weeks. So
spring break.
Yeah, spring break, and this is like the earliest I've woken up all week. So thank you guys. This is good in a good way, really. Because I'll wake up at like noon. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll just go back to bed, and then this makes me feel like a professional.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
The life of a star. Right? So, like, what interesting projects have you been working on lately?
Yeah, well, so we just taped the Netflix special last month, which was cool. And it's good to have Filipino on the board. Boom, got one. And then what else we've been doing? I like pitching shows and stuff right now. So, super top secret because I haven't finished any of them. But, just writing and doing stand-up.
Cool.
And so how recent are you to moving down to LA?
Yeah, so I just moved in January, like full time. Oh my God,
super recent.
Yeah. So last year I had come in January, like for pilot season. I got this deal with NBC for like stand up for diversity, and then so I moved into my aunt and uncle's house for like a year, just total Filipino thing, and then but then this was the first time I just decided to like go full in and get an apartment and stuff.
Awesome. And what was actually, for the people who were not in the know, like, tell them about that NBC.
Sure. Yeah. So there's I don't know if anyone watches doing stand-up out there and just like, taking note. But there's this competition called Stand Up NBC. And so they reached out like 4 different regions in the U.S. and trying to find like new diverse comedians and stuff. So basically anyone who's like not a white dude or whatever, but you guys, there's other opportunities for you. Don't cry. It's okay. You'll find something. There's a platform. But then at the end of the competition, you get like a college tour and like a holding deal with NBC, and they put you into like pilots and stuff like that.
Sweet. And I mean, did you have to send a reel for that, or just based on your like?
Just based on your stand-up. So you do. The first round, you do 1 minute of stand-up, which is like, what's my best 1 minute of jokes, and then 2 minutes, and then 7 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
With the finals being at the Hollywood Improv.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So here. Mm-hmm.
So during the competition, how sure were you of like where you stood amongst
I knew
the
I was
other
going to win,
comedians?
right? I was like, oh, you guys are going no. I had done so many competitions and lost like super hard. So like I went in thinking like, but I also do music in my act.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard because they're basing me off of different stuff too than regular stand-up. And so I do a mix of stand-up and music. But I was used to sort of having a challenge, having something different, because like I would get to like the finals, but then the judges would be like, well, it's not like fully stand-up. So I just kind of went in thinking like, I'm just going to be me, do what I do, and see how that goes.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah.
Oh, so you're saying like it was the music aspect was kind of like harming you to a degree?
Yeah, in some ways, like weirdly enough, like because starting out, there's so many like stand-up purists and stuff. We're getting like notes on that part. I was like,
Sorry,
I'm just gonna keep
guys.
moving until
It's
you guys get it
me.
right. Like, is this good? How's this?
Talons, that's you. There you go.
But yeah, it looks good. There we go.
Eat
Yeah,
the mic,
just don't move.
Talons.
Yeah, right here.
I'm
Just like
gonna-
supernatural.
Yeah,
Just
just like. Sorry, I'm gonna block Arlene, but
I know you're noggin, dude. Noggin.
But yeah, like there was a lot of stand-up purists when I started out that like don't like anything different than just stand-up. So that was kind of hard. But now that I've gone like sort of I guess past that arena, it's easier because now it sort of stands out a little bit.
wow.
I like the music incorporation with all of your stand-up.
Thanks. I
I
like
think
you guys.
it
Thanks
really
for the compliments.
it really makes a big difference. I think,
Yeah.
and it shows like this other side. Like, it shows that you're so much more talented and multifaceted.
Sure.
So,
Thanks. Yeah.
I dig it.
I think it's
I
like a
your
natural.
songs.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a natural like Filipino thing to have
You're
like
so Filipino.
do so many other things. Like Filipinos don't just sing or don't just dance; they like do all of it. You know,
I mean, the next
That's
thing you know,
kinda
you're
funny.
gonna be dancing while you play
dance
music.
comedy,
Hey, wait, just a new genre right there.
like Jabberwocky comedy. Yeah.
Oh damn.
I mean, I heard Talent has some moves. He could be your backup dancer.
There you
Ooh,
go.
okay.
And on the back. Well, that's the thing too. I was wondering, like, I wonder if those judges are just like, yeah, and I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Sure,
like,
sure.
They're just like hating, just be like, I can't play an
Yeah.
instrument. So, but he's funny and plays an instrument. I hate him.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't know what it was, but I mean, like the nice thing is then later you get to like the NBC competition. They didn't care about that. They're just like, oh, this is nice. This is good. And so that was pretty cool to be like one of the first big competitions to win. All the other ones, like looking back, it's like, oh, well, you know, I learned something from it, and it made me more prepared for like bigger competitions and stuff.
How do you deal with, because you talk about, you know, like not winning certain competitions
Sure.
and whatnot. Like as a comedian, like how do you get past that?
You know, it's as a comedian, there's nothing better than like failure, if that makes any sense. Because you go up every night and you do like multiple sets in a night, and most of them are going to be, you're going to have a lot of rough spots in it. But like that's where you learn what to do next, I think. All the best comics get better from like bombing, like having bad sets or having jokes that don't work. So for me, like any competitions that I lost, I knew what I did. You know, I knew what I could have gotten better at, and then I would get better and better at those things. And actually, I think that's kind of what prepped me to do the Netflix like special. Like the thing that I submitted, I kind of knew what they were looking for by that point a little bit.
Because I feel like as an actor or knowing a lot of actors, I feel like actors are much more self-critical. And all my
sure.
friends who are comedians, and they're so funny.
Oh, that's
you know,
good.
and I feel like they just get over things like
Yeah.
way faster, and
Sure.
they kind of roll with the punches, and they're like, whatever, screw it, let's just go. You know, and they keep they look at their craft a little bit different. Have you I guess like noticed that, or what's your experience with that?
Yeah, that's funny. Like I heard the difference between like actors, musicians, and comics, and someone talking about that where like they're saying that like musicians like love themselves too much, and then like
We got a few musicians out here.
then like comics like hate themselves too much, like but it comes off cool and whatever. Then actors are like right in the perfect like middle of negative self-talk. So it's like it's kind of good, but
I feel like an actor probably made that made that.
Yeah, that's probably it.
yeah.
Because I heard it, I was a little
To
like,
be the
all
most
right.
neutral, please.
They're just like, yeah, you hate yourself, bro. I was like, okay.
Because I
yeah.
would think, I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, I think it's just probably because the comedians, you know, you have comedy, and I think I feel like it's a resiliency tool. Like,
Oh, it's totally true. Yeah.
yeah. So I would think that you guys don't, you know, comedians don't beat themselves up. Well, they do, but
Yeah.
they're able to bounce back, and you don't.
I think,
dwell on
it's
it.
weird. Some comics are some of the most like they'll be so dark and like bring themselves down all the time, all these things. But I will say they're the most resilient people because they just keep going. It's like you go and you lose like a boxing match, but then you keep going or whatever. Not to Pacquiao, we love you, man. You're doing it, baby. Yeah.
Uncle Manny.
No, but yeah. But it's like the thing where I think to be a comic, one of the biggest strengths is just getting back up, doing it again, kind of thing.
So from your childhood, were you always just this funny kid, always kind of
Oh, I thought you were gonna go
entertaining?
super deep, like your childhood. What issues did you have? And let's talk about that. We're gonna bring that up.
Bounce back from.
Yeah.
Well, what did you cry about?
What do you? Yeah. Can you actually cry on command right now? Will. You know, like I was always like funny with my friends, but I wasn't like the class clown. You know, I was a shy Filipino kid in my like all white class. You know, so it was like.
And you grew up in Sacramento? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
in Sacramento. I was born in the Philippines and then lived here for like until I was like 5, and then kindergarten from on in Sacramento.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I think I was more funny with my friends, and then that's sort of what I brought onto stage when I started doing stand up, was like making them feel like they're my close group of friends, sort of thing. And then yeah, so that was sort of it.
I like that. I see your strategy there. So
Yeah.
you see the audience as your friends, and you continue that just banter with them. Yeah, that's good. I never really thought about that because, like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like, for some, you know, people are saying like comedians aren't necessarily like the funny guy in the group, right? Like sometimes they're just a very serious or thing people because they're so in their heads.
My girlfriend, we met. I was doing a show at her church, so if there's any Filipino grandmas watching, they'll be excited about that. Like, oh, he goes to church. But we met at her church, and I got off stage, and the reason she wanted to talk to me was because she was like hoping to hear more jokes and stuff. She was like, yeah, but then you asked about like my 5-year plan. I was like, just really serious off stage. So I think like a lot of comics are just, I don't know, like it's not what you think all the time off stage, but then around each other, they're just roasting each other like nonstop too. So
You were asking her about 5-year, like why were you asking her?
Oh
about
yeah,
5-year
you know,
plan?
I was at I don't know, like what's your 5-year plan? You know, like, it's just a good question.
That's your pickup line. Like,
Yo, girl, what's up? You
this
like?
girl's cute. What's your 5-year
That's how they
plan?
holler in Sacramento.
Because I was broke, I was just looking for stability.
Is she a nurse?
So like 401k or no? Like, but no, I don't know. It's just like I think I was so driven at that point, like where I wasn't like killing it in stand up. I was like living in Sac and just, you know, I was living at my parents' house even, but which was like, you know, not bad if you're doing it. It's a good choice. But I think I was just so driven to get to like where I wanted to go in stand up that's just what I was so curious about other people. Like, are you driven? Are you like, what's going on? Like,
What's your 5-year?
Literally. So someone's like literally like went up to her and be like, can you hang with me, girl? Like, what's your I see myself with NBC.
Are you ride or die for life?
Iconic Junior, like,
That's
are you
gonna happen.
Near there, girl?
let me show you my dream board real quick. Like,
So
it's so
like,
funny.
You carry that with you? And you're like, yeah, you don't.
So
Oh,
when
man.
she answered you,
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
you blown away and just...
Of what her plan was?
Yeah, what was her answer?
Man, she was killing it super hard. When I met her, she was like, she's a music therapist, and she was like working at a hospital and all this stuff. So like,
cool.
she was making bank, and I was just like,
Sugar mama.
yeah, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Okay.
I guess I'll give you my number.
Yeah, it's a pretty good 5-year plan. Like, but no, she had a good plan. Yeah, she was ambitious and stuff. So Now we're dating.
See, guys, comedy will get you girls. So
Just have your 5-year plan ready.
It's so
That's
funny.
the key.
Yeah. I feel like this is like a breakdown now of my game. You guys are like, this his style is very weird. Interesting style.
on next episode of Voices, pickup artist.
Yeah. We need to teach y'all. Stop asking about their 5-year plans. So many Filipinos going out there just
becomes like a chain of things. That all started with J.R. de Guzman talking about 5-year
So
plan.
with your parents, are they in comedy? Like, did they understand? Like,
Oh my gosh.
when you really
Are
wanted to
they
do
in
this?
comedy?
Were
No, no. They're. My mom's a dentist, and my dad is the office manager there.
Oh, cool.
And both my brothers are dentists, and their like wives are dentists too. So it's like I'm the only one
Dang,
that didn't
you
do
just
it.
went rogue.
Oh yeah, super hard. I would work there. Like I would go on the road. So 2014, 15 is like when I went like full time, and I would go on the road and come back and like still not have that much money. So then I would also work at the office in the weekdays, just like picking up phones and stuff like that. But
Were they pretty supportive?
they were, man.
Or were they
supportive?
just like, what are you talking about?
They were
What are you doing?"
supportive to the sense of like they weren't like don't do it, like go do it, but they definitely wanted me to be a dentist. Like every day it would come in a conversation somehow. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh, what are we doing for lunch? Like I don't know. Like when are you gonna go to dental school? But they started being cool once like I did this Comedy Central show, and once I did that, they came to the taping and they're like, okay, like we get it, kind of thing. But before that, they just thought like I was crazy, sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, you got to that level of, oh, he's actually on TV. Like,
Yeah, and I did the show with Kevin Hart, and they're like, we've seen him before, like kind of thing. So it worked out where that was the first thing I did, and not some like, I don't know, crazy. My friend just did this show. She did, was it Live at the Apollo? Mm-hmm. And they're bringing it back, and they do something there where sometimes they like, they boo you off super hard.
Yeah.
And that's just a big part of it. People like love it. They get excited. And so that happened to her. And like, oh, that's terrible. But that's like her first like big credit. I'm like, oh shoot, like that's crazy. But I mean, that's why it's so weird. It's just like sometimes it's just luck. The first thing that you do, what you get on, and that one was good. So
yeah, tell us about this. So you've done it with Kevin Hart. Like, what was that like? I mean, just even preparing for that and doing that. Was it a tour or was it?
It was just one. So it was called Kevin Hart Presents Heart of the City, and they basically pick like new faces, up and coming comics from different cities in the U.S. And I don't know. I think they found me through YouTube or something. So there was really no preparation because a month before.
So they reached out to you?
They reached out to me.
Wow.
I didn't have I did have a manager, but he was living in Las Vegas, and it was like more of just a stand-up manager, not really like TV stuff. And I got an email. It was like, hey, you want to do a TV show? Like super vague. I was like, all right, this is a porno. Like, there's no way this is real. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I don't hear anything for like a month. And then the Friday before the taping, they were like, okay, cool. It's this like Kevin Hart show on Comedy Central, and send us like 9 minutes or something. And it was like so sudden. So the prep between knowing what it was and doing it was really quick, which I've heard for some people is the case for stand-up, like doing like some late night spots and stuff. But yeah, so it was really no prep at all, which is probably better for me because then I just went up, did my set, and that was it.
Nice.
Actually, it was in a super like black room in Sac, like this bar called Touch of Class, and the crowd was so good because I think they like seeing something different. I was like the one Filipino person on the show. And it was like the first standing ovation I've ever gotten. Just like, yeah.
Wow.
And my parents were there. So I was like, oh, yeah, I never have to be a dentist. And I was like, this is great. Yeah, so it's cool.
Oh, that's cool, man. And I mean, that's great that you were called and you were ready. Like you were prepared for that moment.
Sure, yeah. Well, at that time and even now, like I was just kind of doing stand-up every night. Just going up, doing like multiple sets in the night. So I knew kind of like what I was going to do.
Like what worked and what didn't work?
Yeah, exactly.
And how many years have you been doing stand-up?
Been doing it 7 years now.
Oh, very good.
What was the first club you performed in?
Oh man, the first club. You guys familiar with SF, like San Francisco?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cobb's Comedy Club?
Yeah,
You been
yeah.
there? Yeah, that was the first club I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in San Francisco actually.
Oh,
And then,
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
Nice. Daly City?
no, actually in San Francisco.
Okay,
to be
yeah,
fair,
yeah.
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 I wasn't that Filipino. They wouldn't let me in.
It's too foggy on that side.
Yeah.
It's all good.
When I got rid of my Philippine passport, they kicked me out of
They have
Daly
like
There
a
you
they have
go.
like a Nickling test when you go in, like, you failed the Nickling.
You failed.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you grew up in SF.
Yeah, and I actually took a. You know Bindle Steph Studios in San Francisco? Yeah.
Yeah, wait, what do they do again? I was just talking to someone about that.
They did a lot of art stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, they had spoken words. They had, so shout out to Bindle Stiff Studios.
Yeah.
But they did a stand-up comedy class, and I took one there before. And
Sweet.
Then had
Oh,
to
yeah?
perform. Yeah.
That's
It was-
awesome.
Let me hear a joke.
Damn, put me on
I'm
the
always
It's
trying to
always-
put you on the spot.
No,
dude.
you know what the worst one I've gotten was I was on a plane ride. It was like 5 a.m, and then the guys asked, "Oh, why are you traveling?" I was like, "Why are you so awake?" But like, I told him I was doing a bunch of stand-up shows. He's like, "Oh, cool, man. Like, can I hear some jokes?" I was like, "Dude, it's 5 a.m." I was like, "Are you sure you even want to hear a joke right now?" But yeah, I didn't do it. I was just
you
like,
should have been your face.
"Yeah, yo, hideous, bro." But
That's the real joke.
yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah. So have you done some stand-up?
No, it's just that, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie. Even just joke writing is
Yeah.
tough. And mad respect to you guys who do it as a living.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel
but
like
like
it's
everyone
bold,
has their
dude.
grind though. You know, I think about like stand-up is hard, but at the same time, it's just like just doing it every day. Because I think what was my friend does like mechanical engineering or something. I just told him, I was like, dude, I couldn't do that every day. Like that's crazy. But yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I mean, yeah. Well, speaking of things every day, we're gonna take a little break and have a little word from our sponsors to help shout out for the things they do every day. I don't know if that's a bond, but here it is.
I couldn't stop laughing. I'm glad I saw it. It was pretty funny. Finish your homework.
It was really like nostalgic. Awesome fight scene.
To do it the X-Men style.
The whole flow of the movie was just really awesome.
Join the cast and crew of Lumpia 15th anniversary screening of the ultimate homemade movie. Friday, June 15th, 9 p.m. Regency Theaters, Valley 6 Plaza, North Hollywood. Tickets now available at bit.ly Lumpia 15LA. That's http://bit.ly/Lumpia 15LA.
And we're back. We are here with comedian, musician, and future dentist. I'm just kidding. J.R. de Guzman.
Future dancer. We figured that out today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dentist dancer? Maybe. Oh,
Yeah, that's why I
damn,
do-
you
that's
saw
why I
it
do
here
comedy.
first, guys.
That's why I do comedy, baby.
Just innovating,
Innovating that world. But
right? Speaking of innovating, like you are now in this category of like up and coming Filipino American comedians. How does that feel being like in that category now?
yeah, I'm so stoked. It's cool because like growing up, you would never see Filipino anything on TV or on anything. So like I kind of like made it sort of one of my goals at a certain point. Like I didn't get into it thinking like I'm gonna pioneer some stuff, but I just definitely wanted to. It's cool to be able to be someone that like other Filipino comics like who are starting out will come out and be like, oh yeah, I saw you do this, and how do I do this? It's just cool to sort of lead an example in some way, like I had, because like like Rex Navarrete,
For sure.
legendary SBC packagers, like we're cool and stuff, like we'll message and stuff, and like he helped me out a little bit in the beginning, like with advice, and then other guys too. Joey Gila is amazing if you guys have seen him, and like Ron Jossel. But yeah, it feels good. Like I think I'm hoping that'll open up the doors for more like Filipino comics. and like get them excited to go out and do stand up. Just seeing that a Filipino person can do it as an option and not have to be a dentist or a doctor. I mean, do it if you're doing it. It's great. But I think if you don't see it, you kind of don't realize that it's a path sometimes.
Now, being like even as a like, how do you feel like there's a different competition or a different not like race, like competition race, like within even Asian American like comedians, like
is it competitive amongst each other? Or do you feel more supportive?
Man, no, we're all friends, like all the Asian comics and stuff. And it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm the best one, but like, is it competitive? No, there's no competition. It's easy.
Not at all.
Yeah. Maybe if they were better. No, I'm just kidding. Calling you out, suckers. No, everyone's really cool. Like, actually, I just had 2 like lunches with other Asian comics this week. We got like ramen and stuff, and I don't know why that wasn't important. The ramen shout out, like sounds like I'm being racist now.
Yeah, like out here in LA.
It's like we only eat ramen. Yeah.
Yes, we eat other food other than Filipino food.
Yeah. When I'm with my Asian friends, we just have Asian food. White friends, burgers. Just how we stay in your lane, Trad. But no, we're all cool. Like we're always trying to help each other out and stuff like that, and like. But I don't know if back in the day it was more competitive because, like, I mean, I don't know what it was like, but I just feel like now that there's, I mean, even just the diversity word is hot, you know, like, not that, and for whatever reason, like, there's good things and bad things about it, but, like, but for us, it's good. And so I think we're all sort of, like, wanting to make more stuff, and we're excited about finding other artists in it. Whereas back in the day, it wasn't really recognized as a thing. Yeah. Like, you knew it was hard, but the rest of, like, other artists or industry didn't recognize it as much. So now it's sort of like, hey, let's all do this. Like, this is our chance, this is our opportunity. And I don't think we can do it as just, like, soloists, just, like, by yourself. You have to have a team. Like, in this room's 3 very talented people, you know? Not sure, but you know, but so much is you, like, you guys behind the scenes doing stuff, like, that's what is getting us going and stuff. So
it definitely feels like there's this buzz and this almost like this electricity of this platform is really, we have a great opportunity right now to get more out there, create more content, and it's being recognized. So
sure, yeah.
So I'm happy about that.
Oh, it's great. It's exciting. There's a lot of big things happening. Crazy Rich Asians coming out. That's like, that'd be cool.
Well, and then Michael Galamko's Netflix show. He's gonna be doing it with
what is that?
Randall Park and Ali Wong.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah.
And that's gonna be great when it comes out.
Yeah. So who cast that? No,
I know, guys.
Cool.
Hello.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Michael Galamko, who is a Fil-Am creative supporter also.
That's great.
So when you guys write stand up, because I'm assuming you write your jokes and you kind of prepare them,
sure,
like off the cuff, right? How often does like your Filipino upbringing or culture come into play, and how much do you make a conscious decision that's like, oh, it's gonna be kind of Filipino oriented, or it's gonna be my like American upbringing?
Sure. That's interesting. Like, I think it's any other like Filipino creative person, whether you're writing for like film or like stand up or music, I think it's a similar thing where you can't help but talk about it because it's a part of you. But then, but I do have to consciously keep a balance of like knowing who my audience is too.
For sure.
And I think as I've aged in the done it for longer or whatever, just 7 years or whatever, but I'm starting to actually do more crowds that are Asian like based, like Asian AF. Heard of that show?
Yes.
Out here. Yeah, it was like one of the first like young hip Asian crowds that I've done. And then, the next day I'll do like a casino, and it's mostly like, like old white people. And
or all of our aunties and uncles are there.
Yeah, no, not even. I wish.
Well, because that could also be an Asian crowd.
Yeah. So that's the thing is most Asian shows that you'll do, right? Like you do like a heritage thing. It's like older Asian people, and sometimes they'll be like, I don't get it, like younger and stuff. But I will say you sort of figure out your audience and sort of write towards that. And then like, I think I'm just sort of now figuring out like a perfect balance between talking about my culture and also, but not making it so specific that if you're not Filipino, you don't get it, you know, kind of thing.
Oh, cool. And then when you have you ever thought of like performing in the Philippines?
I have. I performed out there in 2014.
Oh,
I did.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. Because the last time I went, they were like, "Oh, do you want to do some shows?" And I was like, "I'm on vacation." Man. Like, so I took a month off and just went to the beach.
So
But
you have yet to get someone from the Philippines to like, you know, sponsor. You'd be like, "Hey, we'll pay for the plane ticket."
Yeah.
Are the jokes from like in the Philippines? Do they make sense out there versus
you,
like?
you mean like if I do set out there and over here?
Right.
Yeah, there's a I mean, it is different culturally, but like there's a big English comedy scene out there actually. There's a few guys. GB Labrador. He's a
you
heard of him?
Yeah.
He's a like big comic out there, and then they're actually trying to like make a big boost for stand up, and there was a competition even for like stand up comedians on TFC, but it was in Tagalog. So
Do you still speak Tagalog?
konti-konti lang. You know?
Oh, okay.
I'm like, and then after that, it's all English. I'm like, konti-konti lang. You know what I'm saying?
It's like my Spanish.
Yeah.
Un poco, and then I don't know what you're talking about.
But so one of the best and worst things that ever happened was I was like 3 years in 2014, and I was doing stand up at a Filipino bar in Manila, in like specifically the Fort Bonifacio.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
that
Oh
place,
yeah.
yeah.
Dude, Filipinos like from America love it out there.
Yeah.
But I was doing something and they saw me like, oh, this is great. Like it went really well. I was like, can you headline our Valentine's Day show? It's like, yeah, let's do it. Because I needed some money too. So it's like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And then I did it. They had the opener guy. The opener was like an amazing headliner out there. And he did his set purely in Tagalog and crushed it in Tagalog
crap.
for like 40 minutes. I was like, can you have him just do like 10? He's like, no, we really like him. So I was like, okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, so he did like 40 minutes, and then I think I bombed for like 20 minutes in
my
English,
gosh.
you know, like, so I think they were just like, I don't know why we have to listen. Like they call it, you know, nosebleed and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're just like really annoyed that like they got to hear this amazing, great comedy in Tagalog, and then I did like it for like 20 minutes. Then they were like, hey, can you bring the other guy back on?
Oh my god.
No, it was so humbling and like whatever. I was like, I had a new respect for like the Filipino comedy scene, doing it in Tagalog and stuff.
And it's the fact that they put you in later in the lineup too.
Well, the fact that like he should have gone last for sure.
No, yeah.
I mean, not I'm not like proud or whatever, you know. But another Asian comic, who was it? It might have been like Ron Jossel or someone, was telling me they did the same thing to him. Like they just specifically put this guy up before the like American guys come.
Dang, sabotage.
Oh, man.
No, was that like a setup?
It was
like,
dirty, man. It's dirty.
Like-
They did me dirty for sure. It's
They're
come
like,
on,
yeah,
yo.
these American Filipinos, they're not as funny as you think.
They set it up like in the but it was
For
cool.
all you know, he was just saying in Tagalog, just keep laughing, keep
Just
laughing.
keep laughing. Yeah. When he goes on, pure silence.
Tawa na lang, tawa na lang.
But
It's like instructions in 40 minutes.
now I have a lot of love though for the Filipino comedy scene. Like they're really cool, like super chill, and they're really supportive of each other. Like right now they're trying to build it and like sticking together, and like and I don't know, not to be like sappy or whatever, but I think we kind of need that in the scene here for like Filipino comics or all that stuff. Is just, you know, we're all working on different projects, but like it would be nice to have something like this where like Fil-Am creatives where we're just getting together and networking and trying to figure out like, yo, what can we do to get to the next step together? Because I think that's really how those scenes have built. Like in Malaysia, they have a comedy scene. And I think 3 of the guys just got Netflix specials too.
Wow.
And it's in like, you know, they're Malaysians and stuff, but which would have never been possible if they didn't like build it from day one. I think their scene is probably like 10 years old.
Is that your future goal? Speaking of 5-year plan.
Sure, yeah, 5-year plan.
When
You
you're-
hitting on me?
Yeah.
I recognize this game.
When you're
Yeah.
right, is that like, and I'm not saying you're there.
Sure.
I'm not saying you're not there.
Yeah,
but
totally.
is that your goal in the future? That like when you do stand up, when you do shows, it's like you just killing it in like all continents.
That's definitely a goal of mine. Yeah, like you know, talking about 5-year plan, my dream board, because I definitely want to do like bigger crowds, but like do an international thing. Like that's a dream for me. And the Netflix thing is a great step in there because they have like international crowds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But music, you know, you can do whatever. They don't even have to understand what they're listening to. And now you have like fans in Brazil, you know?
Yeah.
So I think stand-up is getting there closer because of like streaming platforms and online media. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. And but it's possible. Like I did stand-up in Asia, and then I did like Paris and Amsterdam for like a little bit. And I sort of figured out like everyone laughs at the same things as far as like, I don't know, talking about your culture or like relationships and all that stuff. It's just when you get specific about like, yo, you ever at Walmart? And they're like, no, never. I'm never at Walmart. Like that's the only times it gets, you know, specific or whatever. So like, luckily I don't really do like specific references anyways. So hopefully one day I'll be cracking some jokes at Carnival or something.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how much do you want music to play into your stand-up? Do you want to continue doing that? Do you feel like you want to change it up? Like, what's your game plan?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I love the music.
You like it?
I
Oh,
do,
thanks.
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Well, then I'll keep it.
Okay, perfect.
Just for you.
Just for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like right now I'm working on an EP, just music.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
And so I think I'm like interested in doing whatever feels right at that time. Like, because I've never been someone who's like, I just want to do stand-up all the time. Like, I've always done some music or like acting stuff, and kind of want to keep expanding. Oh my God. Secret coffee. But, and we have more of our sponsors down here too. But, yeah, I kind of want to like diversify. Like, I'd love to be like a Filipino Childish Gambino.
Oh.
That's hard, man, because he's Childish Gambino. There's only one.
I mean, there's another part of your 5-year plan right there, man, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel a difference
Childish
now living in LA?
Filipino. What? Sorry, I had to let it out. It's in my head.
No, you can't hold that in, man.
Otherwise, I'd be in the car. Childish Filipino.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're just shouting it out.
that feels better. Like, what? Nothing, man. Yeah, but, sorry, what were you asking?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel a difference now that you're here in LA where,
Sure.
because I feel like there's so much opportunity here in the entertainment industry.
I guess, yeah, I feel the difference in that, like, you'll meet more people who are serious about stuff. Whereas, like, when I was in Sacramento, you know, I love, the Sac scene is great too, music and comedy. But more often you'll run into someone who's like, yo, man, let's do this together and let's make this video. We'll do all these web series. And you'll plot out the entire career of where it goes for 10 years and you'll never hear from them again.
Wow.
He's like, yeah, no, I'm just busy. I'm accounting, so. I'm like, okay, cool. Whereas here, it's like people, that's what they do. And that's
Right.
every day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's people who like to talk about the thought of it, but when it comes down to executing, right?
Yeah,
it's-
totally. Mm-hmm.
And how? I mean, for you, how do you make sure that doesn't happen? Like,
Like, what you mean for myself? If I
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
an idea, man, I just have to like, I write it out every day. I'm one of those guys. Like, every day I'll write out like what my goals are, and then I'll know because every day I'll see it and I'm like, no, I haven't done that yet. Like, I haven't done shit. Oh my gosh. Like, but yeah, I'll just kind of like remind myself every day, and then I don't know. It's like just setting deadlines and stuff. Yeah. Also, I have like managers now who will tell me that I'm not doing something. Like, I'm supposed to submit something to them like at the end of this week. And I think about it every day, like how they're going to be so mad if I don't. So like,
so it's
that
like
helps.
you
Accountability.
You found someone to replace your parents, basically.
Yeah. But instead of dental school, it's like, submit this pilot. I'm like, no, Mom.
You haven't done shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the perfect example. Is like, have your managers or someone that makes you feel the way your mom does if you don't go to dental school.
You heard it here first, guys.
So much pressure.
But yeah, I don't know. It's easy. It's also like easy in LA to feel lazy if you're not doing it because all your friends are like killing it. You know, like I'll just open up my Instagram and it's like everyone's living their best lives. So I'm like, all right. Instagram makes you feel bad, so you're like, all right, I gotta write something. Yeah.
That's why I just like always hang out in like nice sports cars, like and be like, yeah, I'm killing it, guys.
Yeah. I know some people's Instagrams where I'm just like, I saw you the other day. Your life is not this. Like,
For real.
But,
for real, guys. We all know.
We all
Yeah.
wish
We all have that
we
one
all do
friend.
it. We all do it to some extent.
we all wish we had that IG life.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, my IG is imitating art.
What is it? Like what?
So
Yeah.
Walter Talents, he has
Uh-huh.
this amazing
Yeah.
sketch of, it was given to him as a gift.
What is this?
And it's Spider-Man, but with his head on it.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
so last week we had just like done a project together, and he was like, yeah, let's just drink at my place. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. So we go over there, and I walk in, and I've been to his place before, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, why have I not ever noticed this thing? And it's like Spider-Man like perched up like on the edge of like a building, and he has this stool that's like right next to it, and I was like, oh hell no. I have to
Yeah.
take this. And
Yeah.
dude, I totally nailed it.
Oh,
I'll
that's
show you
awesome.
the picture.
Is it you in like a Spider-Man suit too?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah,
this-
it's like
It's like a drawing.
without the face mask.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's
So I
beautiful.
swear to Rodney, you better not be posting an overlay of this. As he's talking about it.
I'll send
It's like
it to
right
you.
here.
I'll send
It's
it
right
to
here
you.
on the-
It's already on
Don't
my
do
IG.
it.
Yeah.
Put it down. He's like, it's like as
see.
we're talking, it's
We
like
should just the rest of this just bring up embarrassing moments in your life, and then we'll have like a cut to it every time.
Stop.
Remember in third grade when you peed your pants? We have a picture. It's crazy. We have that.
It's like it just delved into like my hell.
See, that's my IG. My
Yeah.
IG is like the most random things I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
with my friends and projects and stuff. So it's fun. It's good.
Are you guys both acting and stuff too out here? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So I'm always curious of like, because stand-ups on their Instagrams is like shows or like, hey, it's a joke thing or whatever. Like on an actor's Instagram, what do you got to put on? Like,
Different projects.
Okay,
and
that's cool.
different, or just I do a lot more on production side now. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
More producing, which is pretty
That's
fun.
dope.
But yeah, a lot of it. Like I have 2 separate accounts actually.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
guys. I have a personal
Ooh,
account.
made
and
it.
Then,
hashtag made it.
I have one
Yeah.
purely for entertainment where it just
Yeah.
showcases like the different
Mm-hmm.
things that we've done, and especially with like prosthetic makeup. I love that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
What else? Yeah, I feel like there's like so many different types of projects that I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
and so I just try to showcase all of that, and because it's a grind.
Totally.
You know, I mean, like it's not all like sunshine and flowers. You gotta, I try to post the legit drunk.
The real side.
Drunk nights of trying to be Arlene Spider-Man.
There you go. You want people to see the real you too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I wish I had something as cool as that. Like I only have one IG and it's really random, but I do camera work and edit also.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, my IG is mostly food.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good places
Being
to
real.
eat in LA. you
Yeah,
know?
I mean,
Well, I feel like the social media thing is become such a big part of like entertainment too. You know, like some people that's the only thing they do. So I'm always like curious about like, well, what do you do? How seriously do you take your social media and all these things? And I don't know. Yeah, it's such an interesting world. But actually, I do notice that. So for Filipinos, like bringing back to our culture, like. They follow pretty hard though. Like there's good support in social media. Like Joe Coy blew up, I think, from his Netflix special, and like that's like selling tickets now because of the Filipinos all over, like in Hawaii and the Philippines and stuff. So I think it is good. Do you hashtag like Pinoy Pride and everything? Like it's just like food. Yo, I'm at McDonald's. Pinoy Pride.
Pinoy
I think we'll start doing that.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I personally do like sexy fact.
Sexy. What's that?
Fil-Am
Filipino Asian-
creative.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so sexy
yeah.
fact.
Yeah. It sounds dirtier than it.
Sexy fact.
It does. It does.
And,
yeah.
yeah, and then Fil-Am and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think.
Usually my random one is hashtag Arlene Adventures.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do that on both of my Instagram accounts if I'm
For
like,
sure.
out and about and traveling. And
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool because it's natural. Like I feel like when my friends know when I'm like trying to get more Filipino followers in something, like if I put like Filipino Pride and it has nothing to do with it, they're like, bro, just relax.
Pinoy Pride.
Yeah, Pinoy Pride on every single post. Like there's no Pinoy and there's no pride in this post. Like, what is this?
Cabbage.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm gonna check out like what other Arlenes are doing because there's like There's probably other Arlyn adventures out there. So I'm like,
it's possible, because my name is uniquely spelled because Filipino parents have to be unique when they name their children,
or they just can spell. Yeah,
true. Yeah, and so I have no E's in my name. It's Arlyn.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah.
when I first came to the States, I was deemed Arlyn by the people at my school.
Texas, it's Arlyn.
Arlyn, Texas.
But it is Arlene, like the Y in Spanish. And,
yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting because like when I was trying to figure out what to do for my second Instagram, just purely for entertainment, right? I looked up, the different Arleens out there, and there's some like random chicks out there, dude.
Doing some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had to put all my stuff on private because I had somebody who was using my photo to catfish other people.
Dude,
and it's not even a good photo, dude. I was like, really? Damn.
That must be flattering though too. At the same time, like, well, thank you. But also creepy. So I can get that.
A little bit.
I mean, it might happen to you sometime soon.
One day, yeah.
The bigger you get, the more.
I don't know what they'd be catfishing because like my look. What do I get? I usually get a lot of I kill it in the older gay scene.
Okay.
So if you're trying to catfish like older gay men, like there you go, use my photo.
There you go.
Like that's
it's like me and Walter Talon's doing it.
Yeah, you're like, let's try it.
Hey, what are you wearing?
No, but that's crazy, man. That's great. So like, how did you find out that they were doing that?
They hunted me down through other like LinkedIn and like other places, and then at first I was like, oh my god, this is so creepy. And because somebody actually screenshotted the the fake profile and it didn't even make sense. Like one picture says I'm like 18 and I have this 16-year-old daughter. I'm a widow and she like lives in London.
Whoa, that's
and
so
then
specific.
The other picture says like I'm 24 and I'm just like
I know this, Arlene.
Like I kind of got paranoid for a little bit. And so like I contacted
paranoid, like, do I really have a 16-year-old daughter?
True. I was like, damn, it happened. I didn't even know.
Well, I guess that is creepy that they're able to like find this. So they just had the picture, but they might be able to find
picture, but I think it was from my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And so it was just a little bit different.
Jeez.
But yeah, and then I talked to one of my girlfriends who she's been like on the cover of Maxim and like total like she's beautiful.
Sure.
And I've asked her, how did you handle it? And she's like, oh, you just tell them no, that's not you, and block.
Block. Yeah.
Because you can't do anything if someone's cyber stalking you, unless like they make an immediate threat and you can track them down. But, so yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's an interesting thing. Maybe one day I'll be public, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're afraid.
Well, now see, you learned something, preparing you for it's part of your 5-year plan.
If you have issues, just let me know.
Okay, let me know. People start catfishing. Well, I'm sure yours is like, I mean, being a woman on Instagram is probably like way scarier than just being like a young Filipino dude on Instagram. But yeah, I had a few things happen where people reached out about stuff like but it's weird because comedy ones you don't get like the things that rock stars get, like whatever people hit. I got this girl
slide into your DMs.
This girl slid into my DMs. And like, I hope she's not watching this. There's no way she is. But like, because she's like,
I hope she's watching this.
I hope she's watching. But I mean, she's like this white girl from, I don't know where she's from. But like,
we appreciate your views too.
Thanks for your support.
But do watch. We love it when you do. But I don't know. Maybe she is watching and she's I don't know. But she messaged me and sent a photo of her in like a pizza suit.
Hey.
Right?
Oh.
Like just straight up like dressed up like a pizza.
Do you like pizza?
Everyone likes pizza, so yeah, but not more than the other person. So I was like, I don't know, this is random. But like, I feel like comics, you get so many weird messages. Like people are more okay with saying like weird stuff to you.
Like
because
what's the weirdest other than pizza suits?
Oh man, that was probably the weirdest one. But what have I gotten? I haven't. No, nothing. That's nothing that I can say. Yeah.
Going back to this pizza suit. So it's just a regular.
I like how formal that was. I feel like we're on a. Wait. We've uncovered pizza suit here.
Was it transparent pizza suit, or are we talking?
No nip slip. No, they're just like a pizza suit, like
it's
regular.
Just a pepperoni.
Just one big ass.
No comments.
Hashtag sexy fuck.
No comments.
Sexy fuck. That's the real use of sexy fuck. No, just like I wish I probably still have the picture, which I can't show that. But
Rodney Hogan
yeah.
in the same format
Put
as
it-
my Spider-Man.
yeah, put them next to each other.
Just-
Who wore it best? Just your Spider-Man suit and then this pizza thing.
Ew.
Man, no, I've had then like so fun. The most of like any like fangirl thing I've ever gotten. It's always people in Asia. I like some Indonesian fans and stuff, which is cool. It's always sweet. It's nothing like weird. They're just like, oh yeah, you're doing this thing, and yeah.
So do you get stuff in the mail like some
Your
celebrities
address
do?
is out there?
Yeah, like, this PO box.
You know what? I think it'd be. That's the thing is like for me, for anyone now, it'd be so easy to just find out where you live. You know, like.
Yeah.
Don't
That's the-
say that.
No, sorry. I know you're having. He knows we had. But yeah, just like it's weird. We put out so much info there, and then like you can always check in. My cousin, I don't think I didn't know this. My friend showed me on the phones that you can like. Some people have their locations public on their phones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to turn it off.
Yeah, so I know where he's at. Like I just hit him up. I was like, "Yo, how's Daly City, man?" Like,
How you know?
yeah, just for fun. I just want to hit him up, but yeah, it's like too easy to find out where people are now. But no, I haven't got anything weird in the mail.
Yet.
No. Yeah. What is?
After the show, you would. No, I'm just kidding. It's gonna blow up. you mentioned your Netflix special, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us more about this. Like, what's the aside from telling jokes, what's the
Sure.
premise of your Netflix special?
Oh man, well, so it's the quarter-hour specials. I don't know if you guys saw the announcement for that, but it's the first time anyone's doing like 15-minute specials. They've had hour, half hour, not 15 minutes, and I don't. Mine is just like a showcase of basically the best stuff that I do in my hour, cranked into 15, and yeah.
How did you get approached to landing the Netflix special?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. You never fully know, but my managers had submitted me for it. But I had done this thing called Just for Laughs. It's like a big industry festival. And I'm assuming maybe like they saw it out of there because they had rounds where the first round they I think reached out to people like in their management to submit. And then the second round was then like open submissions for like comics and stuff. But I was in that first round where they reached out to my management. I submitted like a 20-minute clip and then and they liked it and just hit me up in let's see, like 2 months later, and it's at the same time as Comedy Central does their submissions for like half-hour specials, and I for whatever reason this year I only submitted to that one. I think because I submitted to Comedy Central the year before, and I was like, I don't have a new 30 I can show you guys, so just I'll hit you up next year, and it worked out perfectly because then Netflix reached out in December and just said like, hey, congrats, you got the special.
Oh wow!
I was in a mosquito net in Palawan in the Philippines, like on vacation, you know. So I was like,
Nice.
oh snap, this is great. I woke up my girlfriend, I was like, we did it. She's like, well, you didn't do anything. Like, I did it. No. But yeah, it was amazing. It was so great. Like, I mean, Netflix is the place to be now for comics and stuff,
Yeah.
for specials. I mean, like, all the other places are still doing their own unique things, but the specials at Netflix are like, I think have the most traffic right now. So it's
So
cool.
from getting the point of being contacted to the actual filming, how long was that process?
So I found out in December. So like submitting was like October. Found out I got it in December. Then we filmed in February.
Okay.
So all of January, I was doing multiple sets a night, working it out, and then we taped it in Atlanta at this place called Terminal West. And I flew out the week before to just do sets in town, and I think I did like 20 sets before the taping, like in Atlanta.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So was it just? Yeah, what was that experience like? Was there like a director just telling like, oh, we just want these jokes, or you just did a set and?
Yeah, no, you kind of pick it and then you submit it. You show them what you're gonna do, and they approve like your material and stuff. But it's pretty. They give you a lot of freedom. Like I can kind of just talk about whatever, as long as it's not like I'm like dissing on a brand or something. You know? Yeah. So.
What's your best advice for up and coming comics of how to be seen and get noticed?
Oh man, yeah. I would say a lot of people come to LA, you know, without management, and they're like, I want to find a manager or something. You got to sort of find the shows that industry comes to. I mean, we all kind of know that like sort of thing, but I would say like a lot of times people are sort of just getting on every show, and that's great because you need to get better for stand-ups. But you start to see that like, oh, agents and managers watch comics who perform at West Side Showdown. It's like this competition in Santa Monica coming up in a few months, and you can get seen there by like people who will really help you. Whereas, you know, like there's other shows that might be really good and really fun, but if your goal is to get seen, then you have to find the shows that they're at. Yeah.
So there's different shows that are specific to certain, I guess, niche.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Like in the reason I said like West Side is it's this competition, and it's not like they always, there's a submission process, so they get like really good comics to do it. Mm-hmm. But like I remember I did it in 2016, and like Comedy Central was there, all like a bunch of agents and managers were there, and I thought right away like everyone should be doing this one, like if they want to, you know, be seen by those people.
And knowing what you know now, what's the one advice you would give, you know, a person who wants to be a stand-up comedian, when watching this? What's the one advice you'd give them?
I think it was the advice you gave, man. It's the resilience. That's really it. You just gotta get up, be okay with bombing, and because you will, I guarantee you, like so much. And then like I just bombed like the other day, and just have that resilience to like, if you really believe in it, just commit to it 100%. But I guess joke writing part of it, it helps to sort of like write every day and then pick out comics that you like and figure out why you think they're funny. That's the thing that helps.
And speaking of which, and I do appreciate that shout out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I could help. Like, help someone. Hecklers. How do you handle them? Have you had a lot of them?
You don't get a lot, but like it does happen. It's funny that every show that you don't think you'll have a heckler at, or you don't want a heckler at, that's where they're at. Like my first headlining weekend at my home, like one of my home clubs in Sac, Laughs Unlimited, shout outs. The first night, my parents came out too. They're like, this is a big deal for our son, all these things. This girl and her husband were talking like the whole show. But I did this thing because I do music. I sang a song. It was like a parody. I don't do parodies a lot, but it was, Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Mm-hmm. But instead of Let's Get It On, I was singing like, shut the fuck up. And and I got everyone to sing along. And like, so it's like 300 people telling you to shut the fuck up. Like, you'll be quiet afterwards.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And they figured out you were talking about them.
Oh yeah, because I was talking right at them. I was like, because I do this thing, like, yeah. It wasn't for everybody.
Yeah,
like, you guys are all great. You guys, no. So like, because I'm pretty nice on stage. I'm just a nice guy or whatever. Like, I'm not like aggressive. So I'll like, it kind of surprises them when I'll reach out like, hey, excuse me, like, can you please like shut the fuck up? And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, but most of the time, like the hecklers, unless they're really jerks, like they don't realize how much it's affecting the show. Mm-hmm. So it's hard. Like they have to earn everyone hating on them before you can just go into them like really hard. So, and they earned it. You give them like 3 chances. Like one of just like, hey, be quiet. Second of like, no, really. And the third one is when you bust out to shut the fuck up.
Nice. There was that rule right there. That makes sense though. That makes sense.
Yeah. So let's do a quick lightning round.
Sure.
So we'll ask you some questions and then just whatever
answer
comes
as
to
fast
mind.
as you can.
Okay.
All right, I'm going first.
It's like an improv.
Last time I jacked this up.
That's all good. Now there's no mistakes. Yes,
right.
and right.
What is your favorite Filipino restaurant?
Oh,
in LA.
Max's.
Ooh.
That's Max's, can't lie.
What is your favorite Filipino food?
Sinigang.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite Filipino comedian other than yourself?
Oh, well, then nobody. I'm not here to promote other Filipino. No, I'm just kidding. So famous Joe Coy. Joe Coy is great. Mm-hmm. And then Rex was like legendary. So like 2 levels. But I'm going to shout out a bunch of people. Joey Gila is amazing. For me, it's like he should have a special out. Like he's just so good. Ron Jossel, Justin Rivera. Have you guys seen these guys?
I've seen some clips. I haven't gone to the.
Yeah, they're so funny. Just like purely stand-ups. And then who else? Like younger dudes. There's this guy coming out from the Bay right now, Andrew Arolfo, who's like one of my favorite dudes, who's like my age. Yeah.
Cool.
Boom.
What is going back? What is your favorite type of sinigang?
Oh, pork.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. The seafood
High
one,
five you on
yeah.
that one, dude.
Seafood one's good. Like, but I'll just
It's
eat
not
it
the
if it's at the
same.
party, you know? Like, pork sinigang is the sinigang where you like it hits your soul. You're like, oh.
Pork ribs or baby back ribs sinigang to me is the best.
Yeah, so good. Oh.
Well, cool. Like, thank you for coming. And just before we, just let people know, like, how can they follow you? What is your social media?
Sure. jrdguzman.com is my website, and then Instagram is at jrdguz. Those are like the two I use the most. And then, check out the Netflix special coming out. I have no idea yet
They
when,
haven't released it yet.
but it's sometime after July is all I know.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
really
for having
looking
me
forward.
too. I was really looking forward to doing
Yeah,
this.
thank you for coming here, and thank you for taking the time to join us.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Walter Talents. You can follow me at Man of Tales. There's an underscore in between the words.
And I'm Arlyn De La Pena at ARLYN_DELAPENA.
Wait.
but it's private if you're creepy.
It is. If you really wanted to add, you're gonna have to.
If you're creepy, don't even try.
And just say hello.
All the creeps just come to me. I'll bring them my way.
There you go.
I welcome you guys, okay?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it too. Dude.
I'll forward you guys to these.
So thank you very much for coming here. Best of luck in everything you do, and I really wish the best for your Netflix special and all the performance, and hopefully we get to see you in Filipino AF in the near future.
Oh man, for sure. I'll see you guys out there soon,
And
definitely.
come by and feel free to hang out with Fil-Am Creative when we come down, come to our potluck and our meetings.
Yeah, I heard there's one tonight, right?
There's one
Yeah.
tonight, so and there's food.
I'll be there.
Just
There's-
like
there's a
any
lot of
Filipino
food.
Heck
party.
Yeah.
Pork sinigang.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Is Tita Faye coming?
Let's
Tita
ask,
Faye.
Tita Faye,
Can we call her
yeah.
before she brings the balut back?
Let's do it.
If there is balut, you're gonna have to do the balut challenge.
Yeah.
Man. All right, guys, we had fun. JR de Guzman, musician, comedian, dancer,
Watch out.
and not the dentist. All right. I'm Walter Talents,
And I'm Arlyn De La Pena.
and you guys are watching Fil-Am Creative's Voices with JR de Guzman.
Hey.
This episode brought to you by the wonderful, talented cast and crew. Host, Walter Talents. Host, Arlyn De La Pena. Director, Rodney Cujudo. DP, Winston Fernando. Cam Op and Sound, Charles Gray. Cam Op and BTS, Miguel Paulo Arcelia. PA Stage Manager, Arnold Basingat. Production Coordinator, Sarnika Lim.